All right, and welcome to episode 112 of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Powers, and I almost started the show off by saying, oh, shit. Anyways.
You already did.
I clicked on the start
coming
button
together, boys.
on accident, and once you start, you can't stop. So I was like, we're committed. All right, joining me in this end of the year celebration / we're throwing this together on the wing and a prayer, Steven.
Merry Christmas.
Chris.
Happy Kwanzaa.
And the person that finally deemed us worthy enough to appear and join us, Rachel.
Wow.
We said you were out having dinner like a human being last time, like an adult.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
Was the dinner good?
It was actually delicious. We went
Fantastic.
to an Italian place. So
Nice. Well, we'll go ahead and jump into what we've been doing first off. Rachel, since you haven't been here in a little while, why don't you start us off? What you been up to?
Oh my goodness. Well, real busy, honestly, between holiday festivities with friends, family, work, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I also started streaming again. Yay. And when I did that, I started playing Star Ocean: The Divine Force. It's fun. It's free on Plus right now, or it was, I think. I don't remember when I got it. It was free, so I'm not complaining. But I got it, and I've been playing it, and I want to say the combat is real good compared to the previous installment, Integrity and Faithlessness.
Mm-hmm.
The story's still a little jumpy. Like, it feels like I'm missing parts, but the game overall is fun. Side quests are a little weird. It's kind of, my one complaint is the only way to get to side quests is you have to go into the map, like the world map or the level map, and then you have to hit a button on the map to bring up side quests. So it's not in the normal like quest journal tree thing. It's just in a weird spot, and I don't quite understand why. But overall, though, like the gameplay itself is excellent, so I've been enjoying that. Nice. And the only other thing I've been doing is I've been reading more, but still the same books I've been reading. And I got a few games on my Switch. I did get Ace Attorney again on my Switch, so I could play it on the go.
Shocking.
I pre-ordered a bunch of games at Ye Old GameStop, which I already told you guys my story about going to GameStop with that. That was really funny.
I just thought it was funny. You told me you pre-ordered all of your games for next year, and I went, all of the games next year so far.
Well, there was quite a bit. I got Touch Detective, which, fun fact, you can't pre-order Touch Detective in store. You could only pre-order it online for them to ship to you. Fun fact.
That's weird.
Yes.
Anyways.
And I did the Trace Memory collection. That one nice. I'm picking up in store.
Demo's out.
Yes, the demo's out.
To get that one.
Yep, I'm gonna have to check out the demo. I also got, of course, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I got Grand Blue Fantasy Relink because it looks really fun. It's a open world RPG, so yay! Quite my thing. And I remember when this was announced many years ago, when I think it was at E3, at the PlayStation conference at E3, when I was still in my townhouse in Panama City, which was in like 2017, I think.
Pre-hurricane.
Yes, pre-hurricane. So that's when that was announced. But it was good to get all those pre-orders done, and because of birthday and Christmas money, I paid them all off, and yay, go me. But I got some games on my Switch as part of the sale, and then just having leftover eShop credit from also gifts and stuff like that. And two of the ones that I picked up, other than Ace Attorney, were Go Him. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's kind of a hack and slash adventure RPG game. It looks really good. It was only in Japan for a long time, and then they released it over here. What kind of struck me that I didn't I just noticed about it when I was watching gameplay. And I was like, oh, this gameplay looks really fun. It looks like a game that I'd actually love. It's a hack and slash adventure RPG. It's pixel, looks fun. But then I look in the top left corner and with the health bar, and underneath it is another bar, and I'm like, oh, it's a stamina bar. And just the way that things are expended, it feels a little Souls-like without being Souls-like, but it's just the health bar that makes it seem Souls-like. So I was like, oh, that's
Okay.
weird. I didn't really notice that at first, but that's going to be interesting. But it looks like a fun game, and it got really good reviews, so I'm excited to try it. And then the other thing I got just today, at Steven's suggestion, because I posted about it, and I went through, all of the things he suggested, and I added a few to my wish list, like Dark Side Detective, and basically all of the ones that I didn't have already, I put on my wish list. But the one I got was Paradise Killer. This game, guys, if you haven't played it already, it's like playing Persona without the combat. That's the weird vibe that it puts off. But
Okay.
it feels like you're in the the alternate realm that you go into in Persona when you're actually like fighting the enemies in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not in the real world, you're in
Right.
the alternate version of it.
The mind world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called. But that's what it feels like all the time in this. But it's got the color palette of Miami Vice City with it being bright. And it's just weird. So the premise of this game is you're an investigator, and you have lived in the Idle Lands for a long time because you've got essentially become an outcast. You've got nope, you're not allowed here anymore, and kicked off the island to the Idle Lands by the syndicate or something like that, or the council. And this person called the judge calls you back because everybody on the council has been murdered before they have moved to the next island. So these alien type creatures are trying to create the most perfect place, and sacrificing all these people to appease their god. All kinds of crazy things going on. And all of a sudden all these council members are dead, so the impartial judge has put the island on lockdown because they're on iteration 24 and they're about to go to 25 to solve the murder of the entire council. And it's open world exploration where you're just going around the island, questioning people, finding clues, and it is so weird. I can't put it down.
Huh.
So
Pretty neat.
Thank you for the suggestion, Stephen.
Yeah.
I didn't. It's got like a little bit of Ace Attorney vibes with the questioning and the evidence gathering and stuff like that. But it's so strange.
And I haven't. I'm still spoiler free on the Doki Doki Literature Club, but since it's published by Serenity Forge, it's one of those weird games.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I looked at like their like the other titles that they've published, and I said, oh yeah, this is gonna be real good or really weird. And more so the titles that they have coming out like 2024 or 2025 or even beyond that, like the stuff that is just TBA, I'm like, okay, if this is the type of games that they're putting out, this is my jam. So
yeah, because
far,
I was looking for cheaper. Otherwise, I was gonna say like Rain Code as well. If you like Danganronpa.
Yeah. Well, I already have AI Somnium files, and I'm excited to try that. But like it's so good. Like so far, 10 out of 10. Will definitely recommend. Is so weird, and all of the background music is like smooth jazz electronica. My favorite character, I've already told you guys, is a blue-skinned demon alien by the name of Shinji, who just appears randomly on the map and tells you weird things, and then explodes into a cloud of flame and disappears. I sent you guys the picture, but just to describe it to people, I'm not going to say one thing. It's got some censorship going on because he has no clothes. But He
naked.
Yes. His two front fingers are, of course, holding up peace signs, and then the two other arms, he's got 4 arms, are just straight up flipping everybody off. And those are censored. There's pixelated, like, censorship going on of that. And I was like, and he's got this weird, like, fro that's made out of crystal, and he's just funny. And the first time you meet him, outside of your apartment in the Idle Lands, he is on the island now, and he goes, hey, so before everybody like died or got sent to the next island, I stole all of their money and hid it around the island for you to find. Have fun, you're going to need it. And then just goes away. And I'm like, so I'll be running around, and I will be and I'll just find money in a random spot, like in a tree or on the side of a wall. And I'm like, okay. But it's great.
God.
It's great. Totally recommend it.
So on this guy, the only thing they're blurring out is you said he's naked, so they're blurring his junk and his 2 fingers. It's like, but process elimination, are they just implying he has dick fingers? Like, no,
I don't know. But here's the funny thing is when you go into the menu, you can go to options and you can set it to either filter mature content or to not filter mature content. So I turn mature content on because I don't care. Like, I really don't. But it's not showing anything. I'm like, what is the mature content that is showing up? Like, blood? Is the blood going to be a different color if I turn this filter on? Like, if I turn like mature content on, like, what's going to change?
No
and
idea.
Then of course I come across him and he's naked. I'm like, well, if I was a mature content filter, that's what I would filter. But regardless of what you turn on or off, he's still the same. So I'm like, oh, whatever. But it's a great game so far. It's a good time. 10 out of 10. Would totally recommend.
It's just one of those options that doesn't actually do anything. It's just meant to make you feel better. Like, well, this is already bad. It should be so much worse if I didn't have that filter on.
Yeah.
We didn't change anything. We just made them think they did.
Or it's some other thing for later that I just haven't discovered yet.
That too.
Fair enough.
The other funny thing in it though is the first not like visible character that I came across is a ghost. And all of the ghosts that you come across, you have to like solve some kind of problem for them. I found 2, and the first one I found was in a T-pose. They're all in various types of T-pose, and and I was
no
just
longer
like,
bug people. It's a feature.
it's a feature now. So, but 10 out of 10 would totally recommend, and I will give more information on Go Ahead when I actually play it.
Nice. All right. Well, Steven, since you started this whole mess by suggesting these games, we'll move on to you next. What have you been up to, man?
Well, first I was doing the episode a day of finishing up What If Season 2. It's had a fantastic start. Definitely taking it easier this time around. My wife didn't like the last season because they were more visceral. Now they're
zombies.
Now they're more akin to the comics where you're just like, I actually would like to know what if. So I like where they're going with it. So I can't wait to see the last 2 episodes now to kind of finish it up. And they already announced season 3. So that's good. Other than that, I know it's redundant because it's already in the Kunio-kun collection. But I did buy the Double Dragon collection. It did include Super Double Dragon and Double Dragon Advance. So that was on the cart. You can switch it to Japanese or otherwise. I played through the ones I hadn't beaten before on the big screen. So that was kind of a lot of fun because you're getting used to just manipulating beat 'em up back in the day where you just knock everybody off the cliff and you don't fight anybody. So that's always good. And because it was cheap and I'm a sucker for these kind of games, I bought Crime Boss Rockay City, which is full of the who's who of celebrities. So you got Michael Madsen, Vanilla Ice, Daniel Trejo, Kim Basinger, Chuck Norris as the sheriff. Let me just tell you, I thought I was witnessing a telethon the way everybody was phoning it in except for Michael Madsen. especially Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, both in the intro and in cutscenes, they're in a huge firefight, and he's like, "Charge, let's get them. I'll take them down." And I was like, "You're the chief, the sheriff. You're in a loud helicopter, and you're talking like you're on a podcast. You're just like, hey, how's it going? Are you all right? Let's go get them."
The most excited any of them probably were after the check cleared.
But yeah, other than that, it's nicely put together. Hi. It's nicely put together. It looks really good. It's weird. I don't know. It's kind of like if you took away the celebrities, I would think that's how Payday should play.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting ride. It's my game of the year. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. I have to check out the Double Dragon collection. I haven't. I have the Double Dragon machine, but it's always fun playing the other ones as well. I don't know.
I would love to play what people are calling the best Double Dragon they've ever played, and that's the one on the what's that system now? I just watched a whole 2 hours of it. It's basically a Brazilian Wii. It came out.
The Beepo something?
Zebo.
Zebo. That was
Zebo. Oh,
Zebo.
wow.
Zebo has the best version of Double Dragon that's never coming to anything else. And it's
I think what was it? McMuscles, I think, did a video. He was going through those things. It was
that one and the mobile one are the best two Double Dragons to ever come out, and we're not getting them.
I'm sorry. All I heard was there was a Brazilian Wii.
Yeah, called Zebo.
It's a whole thing.
Okay.
You'll have to look it up. It's got some really crappy games and some really good games on it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then we'll move on then to Chris. What have you been up to?
I'm really excited to hear about this, by the way.
Yes. Well, don't get too excited. I only just got all this.
Apparently there was right here, folks.
Oh, Lordy. So there was a Steam sale, and a friend of mine, online friend, basically gifted me 5 Tales of games. So I have Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Vesperia, Tales of Zestria, Tales of Arise, and Tales of Berseria. And I don't know which tale to start from, but they say start with Symphonia because that was either the best one or the one that all the callbacks come from.
Yes. So Symphonia was originally on the GameCube. This is going to be the probably the remastered one that popped up on the PS3 a couple of years ago, many years ago.
Yep.
At this point,
which means it's going to be based off the PS2 one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I will. Next one you should probably play after that is Vesperia because that's the next one that came out. I guess canonically they have no connection to each other. There's references, but not really any connection. Vesperia was only on the 360 until it got remastered and put on the PS4 and Xbox One. And Berseria was also on the PS4. And what was the other? Arise is the latest one, and possibly the not really. I wouldn't say the best one, but the one that people like normal folks outside of the JRPG circles are actually familiar with, if that makes sense.
That's perfectly fine. That's how Persona went from 1 to 2, and then 3 was kind of accepted for the newness, and then 4 was a little more, and then 5 is completely mainstream. So
yes.
I get it.
But yeah.
Tales of Symphonia is fun so far. It's definitely flexing my RPG muscles because if you don't know what you're doing, you can and will die, and I appreciate 100%. That. So it is fun.
I will say Berseria is really good. It's kind of a prequel to Zestiria. So if you liked Berseria, check out Zestiria.
With luck, I will play through all of them. It's just going to take a while.
These games are giving me Listeria.
There you go.
Yeah, I love how you're like, I have so many games, I don't know what I'm going to do. Here's another one.
Yeah. But I love the Tales of games, so I could talk about them till I blew in the face. So
So far, they are indeed enjoyable. But if I want to break from that, I just punch someone playing Street Fighter 6.
yes,
So,
it's like
and
a
then I
palate
boot up Street
cleanser.
Fighter 6 myself.
Well, let me know next time
palate
you want to play
cleanser.
Street Fighter 6. I'll hop on with you.
But I'm excited to hear your thoughts as you play them because I love those games.
Certainly.
I keep
And they're
meaning to go
funny.
back and play through Symphonia because I do have that one on GameCube, but I never really got into it to play it. So I
Well,
wonder if that's one I should give another go.
what's good about the version you have is, if
Mhm.
I remember correctly, it does have both Symphonia games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know the technical stuff about it. Like that was the only one that was the 60 FPS, and they had to do the 30 for the PlayStation. Lost the code, all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'll have to break that out and try
because
it. If we're all playing it, why not?
because the Symphonia sequel was only on the Wii, and this is the only way that they got to it, because there's only a handful of Tales games that actually have sequels. So, and
Okay.
there's not many. So,
Kind of like the Zelda series, you've only got a few that are connected. The rest of them are just kind of individual stories with
right.
callbacks.
Well, like Berseria
Mm-hmm.
is its own thing. You could do your own thing, but it provides some context to some stuff that happened in Zenspath, which is
Gotcha.
they're good games, and they're really funny a lot of time.
Okay. I'll have to check those out. All right, so I will go ahead and jump into what I've been up to. And as nobody can tell because we're just on a camera like we are every other time, the camera never changed, but the computer has. I have moved up to modern technology, and my new computer arrived way faster than I thought it would. I was told it wouldn't ship until the 9th of next month, and it arrived like 2 days ago. It's like,
Surprise! They really said, I don't want to be building this over the whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna rush, and so I bought it from iBuyPower, which is where I usually have got
That's
my
where
last
I
couple
got
computers. Yeah, no, it's great. And they were like, "Hey, it's around your birthday. Here's 5% off your next order." I was like, "Well, that's perfectly timed because I'm buying a computer." So that saved me a good bit. So then I was like, you know what? Like 3-day rush shipping. It's like $24. Yeah, screw it. I'm still saving a bunch. I'll go ahead and use it. I thought it meant like they'd ship it on the 9th and it would be here 3 days later, not arrive that much quicker with a rush sticker stuck on the side. I was like, okay. But I have that running. I had to put the graphics cards are getting ridiculously oversized. I have a 4070 Ti now, and they're so big they can't install them and ship the computer. They have to take it out, keep it boxed, and send it apart because it's too big and it'll break the connector if it's packaged that way. So the 4070 Ti is about the size of a damn Series S by itself. Like, that's the whole damn card. It's huge.
I would never be able to do that because then I would have to call somebody that, I don't know, builds PCs and goes, please help me install this. I am afraid. Software I can do, hardware. No.
They did make it very simple. I mean, it's just get it into the PCI.
Say that.
I know.
You say that.
I also have to work on like $1 million radar systems, so I'm kind of like, I've not broken those, and this doesn't cost as much, though it's my money, so that's a difference. I got it together, then realized I had to put some other stuff back in. I had to take the card back out, put it back in there, got it running, and the longest, like a broken record I have been, I have finally played Minecraft with ray tracing. And dear God, I'm still wanting to know why it's not on the Series X, because this is what I was promised. This is what they... Like, I did not really get ray tracing to begin with when they first started showing off the tech way back with the 20 series graphics cards. I was like, okay, that's nice, but whatever. And then they had the Series X demo where they had Minecraft with ray tracing running on it. And I was like, holy crap, that is transformatively different for all the stuff it can do. And thanks to all of you guys, I was streaming on Discord playing this, so you guys could see what I was seeing.
You should have seen it, Rachel. It was like he moved into a new house. He's like, look out that window. Look underneath the water. Look up there. Look up there.
Everything's so crisp and new.
I'm gonna take you guys on a master tour. I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
where are we going?
I'm just running around going like, I want to see what this base looks like, because I had gotten it running on our server, so this is a world Brent and I have been building up and messing around with for over a year now, just the two of us, and it's been hilarious. So I'm like, let's go see the new, the renovation on the house is done. I did finally go in and play more of Baldur's Gate last night, which that was eye-opening because I've only played it so far on my old 1070, which was okay, a Steam Deck, and a little bit on the Legion Go. So this was a whole new
I'll be getting it on my PlayStation at some point soon.
and
So
hopefully we'll be able to play
Same.
together at some point.
maybe.
Jeremy already has it on PlayStation, so you can play with him. So yeah, that was. I was just happy to be like, look, I have Minecraft with ray tracing now. I can shut up about it, I guess. I did go, and I think I talked about this a little bit last time, but I have finally finished Control. I finished the main story, then I found out there's more afterwards, which is great because your character gets this like awesome like power suit going on, like an actual business suit with their hair up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna kick the crap out of people and fly around and shoot things with this nice suit on. Yeah, I am so glad I played this. Chris, thank you again for pushing me to get into that again. I am probably going to be just go ahead and break down and buy Alan Wake 2 digitally and just play it on here. I mean, I have a whole new rig. Might as well get it over with and try it.
Might as well.
If they do come out with a physical copy eventually, I will get that. But I'm going to go ahead after I finish all of Control, go into it. But damn, that game is amazing. I had to restart it. We talked about this a little bit last time as well, because I was playing the wrong version. And I still wasn't mad because it was still that much fun. And I got back to where I was in like a night, so that was good. Other than that, I got back into Gotham Knights. I'm having to start that over again. I'm playing with Brent because he got it on a sale, and I ended up installing it on my Legion Go, which it runs flawlessly on that thing. So he and I have been playing, and I'm just sitting on the couch while Amanda's watching TV playing. Speaking of which, have any of you guys watched the Percy Jackson series yet? The 3 episodes that are out?
Nope.
No, really?
I'm reticent. I'm trying to convince myself to watch it, but it's just.
This is way more accurate to the books.
Oh, that's not my problem. So.
Okay. Well, I know Amanda and my kids do not like the movies for all the stuff they changed and all the stuff they did. Because even the author didn't like those. He hates them.
There's I know. I know. There's a certain character that I heavily identified with that I now cannot identify with due to a casting choice. So it's a little hard for me to watch because of that, I guess. Because I have to wrap my mind around and disassociate myself from that in order for me to feel like I can enjoy it. So it's just one of those things.
Okay.
It's not a complaint. It's just a me thing. So
that's fair. Sometimes you read something and you have someone perfectly envisioned within, your mind space.
Or you see yourself in that role.
Oh, that too. Yeah. And then someone gets casted who you just did not expect.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the author himself was saying like the casting, all the stuff from the original movies when that happened, he did not have control over. So when that's why he can't make another movie, because they still own the rights to it, but he can make a TV show because he has the rights to that.
Yes.
So that's why he went through and made a couple changes. And
I mean, I read the books as they were coming out, so that's where my stuff came from. It's just one of those things. I will watch it. I will watch it. It's also a little weird for me on one side too, because I can read the books. Mm-hmm. Because my brain will go like back to that, or it'll create a scenario and that kind of stuff. But like with this, it's a little hard for me to watch it now as an adult than watching kids do these things. Instead of, it's different like reading about it when I was a kid, because I remember reading them. It's a weird disconnect. That was the one and only thing I liked about the movies when they came out, is they aged up the kids, and it felt to me more appropriate for them to be having these kind of adventures and having certain things happen to them. if that makes sense. But it's just me. So I don't know. Like I said, it's not a complaint. I've heard wonderful things and I am excited to watch it. I just have to get myself out of that mindset, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel a little bit weird about that because like those changes were things that were made that the guy who created it did not want to do the way it was originally done.
Oh, I know.
Now he's okay.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, it's just a me thing. So
right, just gonna move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing,
like the DS game.
I didn't even know that there was a game. So.
There is. I have it. Yeah, we really have liked the show. Amanda and I have enjoyed it. The kids have been watching it, and so forth. But I was just trying to share that. But speaking of sharing, I was recently on the Sharing with Shell Shock 2023 Roundup. I got to be a guest on there, which that is now up on YouTube. So if you go back and watch it, we kind of talked a little bit on sections because I'd been on the show earlier this year for a couple episodes, helping out with him. Had a lot of fun with that. And Steven was there. We had to defend the honor of Dead Space 3. It is still a fun game for co-op, damn it.
How dare they say it should never have happened?
Yeah, I was like, but the co-op was good. I want that to be remade.
Next, they're going to say they don't like Resident Evil 6.
That's on our list for next year to play that we'll be going through.
There's a big difference between co-op and story mode, and a lot of people are going to defend that fact.
I'm fine with that. I understand the difference on it because it's not as horror-based. It's more of a sci-fi action thing for the co-op, but that mode was a lot of fun. So
nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to the news. Yeah, I'm trying out different sound effects. It's going to be weird ones. All right, so speaking of the fact I was playing Control, and this was very oddly timed for this, but James McCaffrey, the actor who was the original voice for... I just blanked on the name. Holy crap. Anybody want to help here?
Max Payne?
Max Payne. It's in my notes. Why did I not look? Anyways, he was the original voice for Max Payne. It's at a weird... I'm rebuilding my desk, so everything's at a stupid angle.
You're fine. I've done the same thing.
Yeah.
I've got a new setup
I had a
with my
brain
camera. So.
He was the original voice of Max Payne, and then he was also the first previous director in Control, which made it really awkward because he died at 65. It was multiple myeloma, which is a rare cancer that forms in the bone marrow. But then when you see him in the game, the first thing you see of him is him dying. And I was like, oh no. And then you see him almost like a ghost type thing as he is described through the rest of the game talking to you. And I'm like, he played the role great, but it puts a whole weird spin on that afterwards.
Wow,
I got news for you. That doesn't happen normally. I think your disc is haunted.
Great. Basically the Alan Wake Control Universe's version of the Smoking Man. Great. But I was sad to see that. Because I didn't realize it was a separate voice. I always thought for the longest time it was the same voice and face originally. And then that he did the different one for that. So
until you hear the guy who's the face talk, and you're like, "That's not Max Payne's voice."
Right. I was like, "Man, how did they get him to do that?" And I've heard people with
that's some range.
Dude, I've heard people, that will talk in their normal accent, and then they go back and they're playing the role, and you're like, "You're British."
That's some Henry Cavill, Hugh Laurie magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Hugh Laurie, yeah. I had ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah, definitely him and what was it, Cumberbatch? Some of his roles as well.
Cumberbatch and Henry Cavill are both like, wait, that's what you okay?
Oh man,
are we talking about we're talking about acting chameleons, right?
Yeah, where you're just
Well,
like, that's their normal voice.
You know who we should add to that list now? Robert Pattinson.
Oh yeah, no.
Still need to watch that, but just the commercial, just seeing that voice come from the boy and the heron, just like that's Robert Pattinson. Okay,
Batman. It was. Listen, he sounded more like Willem Dafoe. And Willem Dafoe was in that movie as a pelican. So, yeah, a good movie though. But
I need to watch The Lighthouse. Those two were in. All right. Next story. So, you guys familiar with a gaming series called Warhammer 40K?
My
It's
friends will not shut up about it. I cannot afford the figures, but I like the lore, and the orcs are amazing.
so very
Apparently, the books
similar.
are good too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So similar to what you just said. You love the lore, but everything's expensive. But one of the bigger fans who does like the lore, who can't afford this shit, Henry Cavill, speaking of which, has decided since, I'm not going to be the Witcher anymore, DC doesn't want me as Superman anymore,
So
I have all
sad.
this money and love it, I'm just going to become the executive producer and make a whole series of movies and TV shows based on it with
And he's got
Games
tons of
Workshop.
figures.
Yeah, that man's a lot of figures. Yeah. So Games Workshop and
Big ol'
Amazon are
Big
teaming
old
up.
muscle nerd.
Yeah, he makes the rest of us just not have a chance, it seems.
And he built his own PC.
Yeah, he
Yes, he
loves talking
did.
about that.
He loves talking about that.
It is
What a
it is
guy.
really funny because you can tell all of us that are nerds know that, like, if you're in a situation, even if you feel kind of awkward, if someone else mentions something you love, like if you're sitting there and they start talking about Darkstalkers, or they bring up Princess Peach, or they're talking about some random RPG with a touch control and weird things, uh, you're going to be like immediately comfortable in talking to them. Same thing with me with Transformers. And he was in the middle of some weird interview, and he's kind of awkward, and some guy brings up Warhammer, and he just immediately goes, "And what do you play?" And as soon as the guy goes, like, they're ignoring the lady and just talking to each other about the game, and I was like, that's a nerd move right there.
Yeah, you got to remember he almost lost the Superman role because he was playing World of Warcraft.
That's great.
Big old nerd. Big old nerd.
Oh man. So everything's still in early production. They're just doing script work and so forth. But how much you want to bet he finds a way to get himself in there, at least in cameos and all this
Oh
stuff?
no, listen. Just because you you executive produce a show does not mean that you cannot be on the show. Here's
yeah.
a good example. Jensen Ackles, he was on
Mhm.
the Winchesters as Dean, and he executive produced it. You can do it.
I need to come up with a sound or a bell or something that it's like Rachel made the reference. Bing.
Yes. Oh, here's another example. My favorite Canadian television show. Yannick Bisson is now the executive producer of the show, and he still plays William Murdoch. You can do it.
Fair enough. All right. Anybody else got anything for this before we move on? Nope. Cool. Moving on. All right. So Activision Blizzard has been a hot mess since before Microsoft ended up buying them out. But they have finally agreed in their lawsuit with the state of California to pay $54 million to settle the workplace discrimination lawsuit that they were facing. Basically, it's going to be women who worked for the company between October 12th, 2015 to December 31st, 2020, either as hires, independent contractors, or else are eligible. So seems they're at least trying to do something with this. I know. Oh, go ahead.
So all of the WoW cosplayers that were like working with them are also
if it was between October 12th, 2015 and December 31st, 2020, either as hires or independent contractors.
They would be an independent contractor if they did anything at cons with them, or video support, or any kind of marketing related things.
Yeah. And Activision Blizzard's kind of big. So they had a lot of things.
That puts like 10 people I know on that
I'm
list.
about to say, Rachel, do we need to stop this story and edit it out? Like, we have a conflict of interest and you're in a legal battle now?
No, I'm not, because I have nothing to do with WoW or Activision Blizzard.
You got oddly excited. I was kind of worried for a second. It's like, oh, was Rachel trying to tell me she was in something?
No.
Go ahead, Steven.
That's probably why I've saw so many influencers putting out their videos proclaiming that and the very last story as a big deal.
Yes. So I'm just going to go ahead and carry over to this one because it is a Christmas miracle, a good way to start the new year. Bye Kotick is gotten the fuck out. He's gone. He's just done. They have removed him like they have people that work for most of his developers. They've removed him like he pretty much tried to remove all the women that worked around him. So yeah, Bye Kotick is gone. hurrah, huzzah, he is not dead. Sad. No, well, sadly, whatever. But
Wow, Editorial City.
Good
yeah,
Lord,
no, I'm leaving it.
wow.
What you didn't see is he had an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other, and they're like, he's dead. No,
Yep.
it's not. He's not dead.
No, they're both saying he's dead. They're both just like, how bad can we do that? Like, how can we wish that? Like,
Oh,
So-
Lordy.
No, he's got a point.
good Simpsons reference, and Futurama. I think they both did it. So yeah, Bobby Kotick is gone. Officially as of today, I think was his last day. So as soon as he left, people were just coming out of the woodwork, posting stories and tales and things about him. You know, no way to verify some of these, but like, I know I saw one that he had claimed he was gonna, he could kill somebody. All these people talking about how he treated him, things he did. I would say it's surprisingly nasty, but it's confirmationally nasty, I guess. Like, that kind of fits to it more.
You're never going to have a completely innocent CEO. That's pretty much impossible because people in that kind of, echelon usually do some pretty nasty things to get there. But he was not helping matters by being himself.
Yeah, he did leave with a golden parachute, so you got to remember that too.
Yeah, and sadly, there's no way to get around that. I think contractually, he was dug in there so much that the only way they could get rid of him is to do it. And
Pay him off.
yeah, I know Microsoft is rearranging, and other people are going to be taking control of the different levels for Activision. I forgot to list who was taking over on that one, but they've got better people that are going in place of it. So hopefully this will be the benefit of the merger for all this trouble going through everything, that he is now removed. He can hopefully go do something else. If he tries to maybe start up a new gaming company, we can all find a way to ruin him financially. I have no love for this guy.
No, you definitely don't. I don't think anyone
He doesn't
does.
deserve it.
No, he
Yeah,
doesn't.
no.
I don't think so. No.
No, he can go cry into his money. Let him be lonely. I still can't believe, like, what was it, Moneyball or something like that? He made himself out to be like some financial guy of a baseball team, like he was somehow the hero. And I'm like, yeah, only somebody that involved in the crap they do and the money they love would think that's the route to go and try and do acting. Anybody else have any hate for this guy they want to talk about? I'd love to share it.
I think you pretty much covered it.
I don't like the guy, so I'm glad to see him go. All right, so we are going to jump now to the big question, but this time it's the award show, and I don't quite have all of my stuff, so we'll just go out with one last celebration of what Bobby Kotick was all about.
Corporate greed.
And use that as our sound to separate to our new part.
Oh, Lord. Good to see that survived.
Oh yeah, no, that
Yes,
carried over.
If one thing did, I'm glad it's that.
I still have the files on the other computer. I could bring it back. We lost some of the music and I loaded up on this computer, so that's what we were joking about. All right, so we're gonna have a discussion with a couple of categories and plus some that we've just kind of made up. And we're going to go round robin to make choices for these. We're not going to follow the exact listing here because I had put Game of the Year first, and I feel that should be our last one. Kind of.
Yeah, I'm going to go from bottom up.
Well, that's personal preference.
What?
Bottoms up. New Year's.
Oh my gosh.
Call of Duty.
Okay, no, I actually do like that too. All right, bottoms up. Yeah, good job, Steven. I like that. All right, so we're going to let you start then. So the first category that we're going to go around is recommend a game from an older generation.
Okay.
Dean?
This one, I only remember it being published by Sega, and this is when Sega wasn't the best at their Marvel games, but I felt they hit gold with this one. And my recommendation from an older generation is Captain America Super Soldier for Xbox 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
It is, in my eyes, the closest thing you'll get to a Marvel Arkham Asylum. It tries not to be too broad, but it's got the villains from your from the ethos of Captain America, and especially it's got a really, really well put together battle system. So I went in there thinking it was just going to be some kind of cash in, and thankfully, unlike the weird Iron Man game they made, this one was fantastic. One of my favorites.
I did recently get both those Iron Man games because I was like, oh, they're so bad. The flying's fun though, so I'm glad they actually did the Captain America one right. I'll have to find that. All right, Chris, what about you? Recommend a game from an older generation.
Well, as the resident punchy, kicky, fighty guy here, I would probably mention Skullgirls because it's gotten a lot of updates, was pretty much given a boost, a resurgence when they changed teams. And the money from the mobile game has actually allowed them to make more characters for the base game, which I'm pretty shocked to see. I'm pretty happy about it. It has some of the best 2D animation I have ever seen in a game, period. I think the only game that really goes above that is maybe Rayman Legends and Origins, which I wish they still made games like that. The Ubi Pen freaking engine was beautiful.
It's called Disney's Illusion Island.
No, that's the Battletoads engine, and it stinks.
Are you sure? Because they jump like Rayman.
No, that doesn't mean they animate properly. Anyway, Skullgirls has an incredible amount of callbacks. I almost said call girls. Oh my!
This is
well, you know what I'm thinking about. Wow. Anyway, callbacks to others
and blackjack.
Callbacks to other things like Robo Fortune, the robot character, has an Iron Man skin, as an example. One of the other characters has a Morrigan color skin, and a lot of the calls and attacks and everything reference other fighting games. So it's just a very fun game overall.
If I remember correctly, this is the one that had the character Big Band.
Yes, and you can actually make your own tunes using the controller and a special move. Which is awesome.
One guy did a fighting term it's actually one of the fighting game moments out there, where he's about to win the match and he makes Big Band play Happy Birthday. And Happy Birthday means something in the fighting game community, and I thought that was fantastic that they took the time to do that.
Yeah, the fact he could do it, because I remember I have that game for Switch and a few other things, and I was trying to show Amanda because I was like, oh, it's great animation and stuff, and I was playing Big Band, and then as soon as he does the forward rush, he breaks out a French horn that he's hitting people with, and she's just like, French horn.
Yeah,
it's like, that's my wife. Awesome. Rachel, recommend a game from an older generation.
I've mentioned it a lot. I play it all the time as a comfort game, and this is the hill I will die on, and I will always recommend for someone looking forward to something simple, fun, and joyously colorful. It's Ty the Tasmanian Tiger on the GameCube.
Nice.
It's
a good one.
It's just good. It's a fun platformer. It has some difficulty stuff. Like the time trials can be really difficult if you're not paying attention. It's got some nice challenges. It's filled with just great Australian slang and just Australia. If you, like me, were obsessed with Australia and Crocodile Hunter and all of the just stuff over there that seems cool, this is the game for you. And you play as a Tasmanian tiger, which is an extinct animal, and you throw boomerangs. What's not to love? What is not to love? The fact that it's
extinct?
Yes. It's just
sad
it's just,
now. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, lives on in the game.
So the last Tasmanian tiger died in captivity in, I think, 1928. And I mean, I think they still have some scientist somewhere has a cub in formaldehyde in a jar. They've harvested DNA and stuff of it, like they've done with sheep. So maybe one day they could clone.
We're gonna Jurassic Park it.
But I don't know. They've done it with sheep, guys. They've done it with sheep. Okay,
that's true.
So, but yeah, that's my recommended game from an older generation that this is the hill. This is the hill I will die on. It's a good game, and I will probably love it for the rest of my life.
All right. So for myself, the game I want to recommend from an older generation, kind of connecting back to the fact I've been playing so much Baldur's Gate recently, and I was thinking, what was Baldur's Gate for us back in the day? And for me, it had to be the Nintendo 64 Gauntlet Legends, which is one of my favorite to just sit down with up to 4 people, go in there, and just tear through the levels, always hearing that the wizard needs food badly, that whole booming voice that they did. But it played so well, so brightly colorful. But that was the closest we could get to kind of a 4-player D&D style game back then. And then there is like Gauntlet Dark Legacy and some of the sequels that came out for like GameCube, PS2 and stuff. But the N64 original one, I still play to this day. It's still fun to go back to. And I kind of wish somehow that would make it as a Nintendo Switch Online title, because I would love to hop on there and just roam around with the 4 of us playing Gauntlet Legends again. That would be great. So that is the game from Midway that I recommend. All right. Our next question, and we'll follow our sequence on here again. Steven, game you most want to see a remaster or remake in 2024?
I'm going to file this under never will happen, but
that's fine.
But
it's
I
good
would
to have hope.
I would instantly award it Game of the Year if it did. And that would be not a remake, but a remaster of Snatcher. But if you're going to record any new lines, it has to be the original voiceover and the original artist. Because if you touch my baby, I'll get mad.
Okay. Chris, what game do you most want to see remaster or remake in 2024?
Well, this is a little bit of a stretch, but I would actually want to see a collection. I want to see a collection of all the treasure games out there, because they are just they're amazing, they're unique. When a company splits off from Konami because they think they suck, and wow, are they prescient? You just had so many amazing things: Gunstar Heroes, Stretch Panic, Silhouette Mirage. These games are inimitable. They're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just need a collection of all these games somewhere, on the Switch, on the PC, anything like that.
We need McDonald's Treasureland Adventure.
Yeah, that too.
Oh my god.
It's the only licensed game I'll play.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
Memory
funny.
Unlocked.
Yeah, I say, Rachel, you look like you just had a brain aneurysm. Like, I remember.
I'm gonna write it down. McDonald's Treasureland Adventure.
Oh,
it's a lot of fun, actually.
It is. That's what surprises me.
Yeah, it was actually a good one. I remember that one.
They used that game to prove to Sega that they could make games, and after that, they said, "All right, what do you want to do next? Gunstar Heroes."
And
Boy,
Dynamite.
They didn't know what they were getting. Yeah. All right, Rachel. What game do you most want to see a remaster or remake in 2024?
Okay.
Don't say 7.
It's already happening. You.
Oh yeah, it's a rebirth, not a remake. Got it.
Lord
right. Or a remaster. It's just
so I mean, I could be that girl and say 8, which I would love. I could, but
it deserves some respect.
But then we'll lose the meme. You're the best looking guy here.
Yes, I know. Then he really listen. They did when they ported it onto the Switch. He is much better looking now.
That coffee mug you sent on the meme channel on our Discord, join us by the way, people, was great.
I think I need it on a T-shirt actually.
There you go.
Like I need it on a shirt. And then I will be, my life will be complete. Really? Okay, so I don't want. I thought about this question long and hard. Okay, I thought about it. I thought about it, and I was like, man, do I want to say Skies of Arcadia Legends? And I'm like, no, they'd probably really mess it up. That would be my one worry.
Sega mess up a revival?
Like, yeah, I know.
But they're doing everything right now. They're not gonna mess those up. Come on.
Don't jinx it, please.
See, that's why I'm like, but then I got to thinking, what is my pie in the sky thing? What is my pie in the sky thing for a remaster remake? And then I was just like, well, I could just say Xenoblade Chronicles X, but to get it off the Wii U. But I'm like, no, Yes, I want that to happen.
That needs to be a port. That
It
just
needs to
port
be
it. Bring it to the Switch.
just port it. Do a little bit of a nice little touch up here, little
Could
touch
you
up
imagine
there.
that as a Switch 2 launch title announcement?
I
next
would
month?
eat my hat. Okay, I would
You'd
go
find a hat and eat it.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I'm gonna pull a title that very few people played. I think, unless you were as big, unless you're as big into RPGs as I am. It was also an Operation Rainfall title. It is not Pandora's Tower. It is The Last Story.
Thank God, that game's amazing.
It is so good. It is so different, and I remember playing this game for hours. My copy is right over there, the collector's edition that I got from GameStop, and it's still complete. It's got everything. It's even got the art book. And I'm like, I just want more people to experience this game. It's that Sakaguchi and Nobu Uematsu combo. And they did like 4 games together after like going bye-bye from Square Enix for a long time. And I want more people to experience it. I don't think it's going to, though, because the other guy involved in it has vehemently said for many years, I don't like remastering games.
Makes
so
sense.
I think you'd have to pay him either hardcore money. He doesn't like revisiting things.
Or buy him out.
Or buy him out. Like it would be like the stars would have to align perfectly for this to happen.
Yes.
But I wish there was a better way to experience this game other than, I guess
dig out your console.
I don't know if it's available on an emulator somewhere. I have not looked into this because I don't want to be disappointed.
I would think
Rachel,
with Dolphin
I
it would
can
be.
help with that. I have it. Yeah, we'll talk.
Okay.
See, no lawyers heard that.
No. It's just, listen, it's just for research purposes.
I mean, if I just happen to have multiple fully modded Wii's and full digital backups of all of my stuff, and
it's for research purposes.
Right.
Okay.
You're testing out our computer. Perfectly. All right, so I think out of all of these, mine is probably going to be the most out of left field.
Okay.
Mine
Dead Space 2
is a Game Boy Advance title, because I had kind of thought of an interesting twist that only came about in modern times, and that is Boktai, The Sun is in Your Hand. Because how many devices, be it the Switch, mobile phones, other things, have a light sensor built in now that knows when you're in direct sunlight and adjusts automatically?
It would go on mobile phones. This is
That would be cool.
It would go on mobile. It would go on Switch. I mean, even my game, like the Steam Deck and stuff, has light switch sensors, so it could be Steam Deck specific. Like you could take it outside and do that.
There's 3 Boktai games for them to
exactly. You can make a collection out of it.
I was gonna say, did you like Lunar Nights?
I don't have it. It's kind of hard to get a hold of it. Thing's expensive.
There's
I'm
a
lucky
copy
to have
of
the
it.
first one.
There is a copy of it right now, I think, at my local retro store if you really, really want it.
How much?
I'll look next time I'm in there. It's the same place that has
trade her a Vita TV for it.
Yeah.
Oh, you still gotta go get that other Vita TV for
I haven't been
research
over there.
purposes.
Research purposes.
So that's the game I would love. Just pie in the sky out there, because it was such a fun and interesting game to use that mechanic and actually, go outside. I know people would find, UV lamps and stuff like to try and trick it, but like I would actually take it outside and have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a unique idea, but like you see so many different things, because part of what made me think about it's the Legion Go that I had. That screen was originally intended for a tablet. That is why it's kind of a vertical form, but they use it horizontally. So on the right side, people were like, is that a camera there? Like, oh, no, it's the light sensor. So it knows how much light if you have it adjusting the screen brightness. And I was like, ooh, that used to be such a weird little thing they would put in Boktai, but now it's an everywhere feature to adjust the lighting. So that's yeah, that's the oddball game that I'd want to see. That I think would be fun. So
Neat.
yeah, just throwing that out there. All right, Steven, back to you for our next one here. What is your most anticipated 2024 title so far?
Much like Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. It is now her era for her to come into the limelight in the new year.
My daughter will not shut up about it.
Other games are just not happening next year. It is all about Princess Peach Showtime. I'm ready to play a new type of game because everything else has been done before. So bring it on.
Nice. All right, Chris, what about you? What's your most anticipated 2024 title so far?
That was incredibly biased and expected and predictable. And by the way, my anticipated 24 title is Metaphor Re Fantasio, and I'm sure nobody expected that.
I'm not surprised at all, and I want that game too. It's not pre-orderable yet. I checked.
I want to know how different this is going to be from the Persona series and what they keep and how it will all come together. I want to see the next pillar in the Atlas saga, so we will see. And yes, I will buy the art book.
Listen, you and my coworker Andrew would be immediate friends with your beloved Persona.
I am totally cool with that.
Surprised Jeremy hasn't hit you up and talked about it more, because he's into it, that's for sure.
When the game comes out, you just watch.
Yeah, I hear enough about it just here. Persona.
Oh, Lord. All right, Rachel, what is your most anticipated 2024? Title? Like, you don't
y'all already know what I'm going to say.
We're going to wait and hear it. I mean,
it's 7 Rebirth. I'm going to be playing it until I don't know, expire probably.
Or the game ends.
Or the game
Can we get closure this time?
No,
there's still adding more story elements.
There's still one more title after that, and if they follow the formula for this last one, there's going to be a DLC.
Well, look, before they get to the last one, it's going to be long enough that now, Reimagine's going to end up getting its own remake, and then that's going to...
They just revealed that they're expanding Zack because he's on the cover.
They're going to Kingdom Heart it.
I'll only play the game when it's got closure.
At this time, that is the game that I am most looking forward to.
I had to make a joke, Rachel.
I don't anticipate there being another game announced that I just go absolutely feral for. But I mean, unless they drop some Kingdom Hearts news, but that's kind of the same thing. But
right.
Yeah, that's it. And I don't have that long to wait. I have literally 2 months.
Yeah. It's not a couple of these games are not going to be that much longer for anything.
No, not at all. Not long at all.
All right. So mine that I am most anticipated hasn't actually been announced, but I am just convinced it will be next year, and that will be a Prime 2 remake. Just like Prime 1. I mean, hey, it was early in the year that we got it. It just showed up out of nowhere. I am convinced Prime 2 has to be coming. I will be that guy with no hope.
Okay, so you're basically saying you're going to get a Prime 2 remake and possibly a Prime 3 remake before Prime 4.
Yeah, probably.
Jeremy,
I've given up on 4.
I
have got dread since 4. Go ahead.
I have to ask you this because I have to. Were you momentarily possessed by the astral projection of Caleb when you gave this answer?
His spirit talks through me.
Because I'm just like, I can hear Caleb just going, who's talking
Welcome
about
to the Nerd Edification Hour.
Yeah, literally. I could just feel his energy just all the way from here. Like, I don't.
That is my true heart of heart answer.
Okay.
If we're talking about an actual game that has been announced, I am going to be right there with Steven about the Peach game. For the fact I am excited to play it.
Completely unsurprised.
And I have not stopped hearing about the fact it's coming out since the day it was announced, because Jennifer, I think, is a bigger fan and wanting of this game than you are, Steven.
That's a lie.
She will fight you for it.
Don't get it started. Oh!
She's not allowed to have tattoos.
He's whipping out the Peach tattoo.
Do you want me to go get her and have her talk about it? Do we want to pull that card? Because this episode will go from a tight, almost an hour to we're never
I
getting
have
out of here.
Princess Peach clothes I can't wear because it's not my size. I've collected them.
She has been Princess Peach 2 Halloweens in a row.
Jeremy.
I would be if my wife would let me.
Jeremy, here's the question.
Yes.
Does her love of Peach outweigh her love of Kirby?
Oh.
Is it a coincidence that they are both pink?
No, it's not a coincidence they're both pink. But if I had to make her fight a Kirby,
make her choose between Kirby and one of them, you better make her choose.
I think Kirby would win.
There you go.
Yeah. No, she has a Kirby dress now. An actual dress that is Kirby's face and all that stuff, along with her cape, posters, the lovely notepads you sent her, Rachel, that she loves. Mugs, ramen bowls. Like, I even made her a dry erase board with one of the glass prints that GameStop had. They put on the windows. Mm-hmm. They'd gotten an extra one and gave it to me, and I put that on a dry erase board so she can draw around it and have her little.
She is Kirby. A bigger Kirby fan than me. I concede that title that I never had.
We will have peace in this land by conceding that one at least. She will be very excited when Peach comes out, though. Maybe not as much as you. And I am terrified about the fact I'm now imagining what you would look like trying to dress up as Peach, if your wife would let you. Would you shave for that?
Of course.
Oh, okay, you are the bigger Peach fan. There is no question on that. All right, so now for our fun one. And Steven, back to you on this. Dishonorable mentions of 2023.
Oh.
I've got 4 dishonorable mentions.
Make them quick, but do them.
3 of them grind my gears, and 1 of them needs no explanation. I have
just one of them shared by the rest of us.
Oh yeah. So
should we count to 3 and all say one of them at the same time?
No.
When I get to the last one, we can say it together. Okay.
Yes.
So one of them is the constant delisting of games this year. Some people are temporary buying licenses, and it's kind of making me mad. Mm-hmm. Whether the games were good or not, tomorrow the Bill and Ted go off of the eShop, the retro collection. So those games will be back into the ether. You got to get the physical or nothing at all, as well as a lot of Star Wars licenses for physical stuff, because they're going to just limited run is just basically going to pull a lot of their licenses. Not a fan of that. Another one I shared with Jeremy the other day, Switch Steelbooks in particular, stop making them if you don't have room to put the title on the spine. People display their games like a book, so they need to know what game they have, not just, is it the purple one, the red one, or the yellow one? I don't know.
It's the silver one. Which one?
Another one, and I'm calling out most of the internet here, stop beating up a huge AAA game in one weekend. You spent $60 to $70 on that. I know you like it, but enjoy it. Enjoy that cake. Don't just eat the whole cake in one bite. So when you're buying a game on Friday and you beat it on Saturday, are you really, really that happy with yourself?
Well, that's when you start New Game Plus.
That's another episode, and there is no good New Game Plus.
Oh, don't get me started. You do not. Don't get me started.
Good new game pluses.
That's another 3-hour episode, so you quiet. Oh. Anyway, the last one, which has been explained in detail, especially with Rachel and Jeremy, we can say together in 3, 2, 1.
Skull and Bones.
The beta, yeah.
Just Skull and Bones in general for me.
The games is not going to be any better. I don't think so, unless they basically throw it out. But yeah, good job, guys. I can play Sid Meier's Pirates, and it's still a better experience. And that game's fun.
Yeah. I mean, Rachel, while you weren't here when I was streaming some of the stuff, testing the system, I did finally crank up Sea of Thieves to make sure it's updated, how it ran, and that's how Chris finally saw it. And I'm like, look, you can get off the boat. You can have more than one person on the boat. You can swing a sword. I got killed.
Swim.
Yeah, you can swim.
You can swim.
I watched my ship get wrecked and sink to the bottom, and then I found an island full of ghost pirates that killed me. And I'm like, I've already had more adventure just showing this off to you, just randomly doing something.
And And you can dive deep into underwater temple things for mermaids. And you can do a sequence called A Pirate's Life, which is kind of like a sequel to all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Very weird, but very good. And there's a Monkey Island thing too. So we should all play it.
So we don't really need Skull and Bones.
No, we don't need Skull and Bones. We have Sea of Thieves. Take that, Buster.
We ain't a Skull and Bones household here. Go ahead, Steven. You look like you want to say something. Sorry.
No, that was the biggest dishonorable mention. So I'm good.
I think that's a big one for all of us at this point.
That's my only dishonorable mention because I couldn't think of anything that really ticked me off this year with gaming.
Oh, good. It wasn't me. Cool.
Yeah. No, I legitimately can't think of anything that made me personally affronted. I wasn't thinking like general things that happened. I was thinking something like a game I played or something I came across in gaming that just...
So you're okay with Spider-Man's face?
That was a personal affront, but it's okay. I've gotten used to it.
Who was it that sent the thing about Spider-Man's face looking like the kid from that?
That is a dishonorable mention.
There you go.
I knew you'd have something.
Why does he look like that? Why does he look like the kid from the Polar Express? I hope someone at Insomniac has seen this and has laughed. I hope it provided them with some level of joy, and then I wonder if they also secretly planned it. But no, it's not a dishonorable mention, mainly because I've gotten used to it, and it improved in the Spider-Man 2 version of his weird face. So,
I guess we just inadvertently went to Rachel next.
No,
that's fine.
That's hilarious.
No,
whatever.
That's just
all right.
That's my only dishonorable mention.
Chris, dishonorable mentions of 2023.
The Game Awards.
That's a good dishonorable mention.
I mean,
where to start? Yes, it was. But aside from that, it's just the people getting shooed off. Eiji Aonuma getting a wrap it up. It's so just affronting to everything that is gaming. It's just not. Jeff Keighley is ruining the awards industry. So, yeah.
He just wanted to give attention to his boyfriend.
So give him his own show. He's already got his own games, already got his own studio. We can have the Kojima Awards over to the left somewhere.
Oh my God. I think Keighley would do that if he could actually get the time and people together to do those awards. He would do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody just put a petition in. Make sure Konami makes it into the next year. And Jeff Keighley has to give them an award. Let's see what happens.
Super Rhythm Castle gets best family game.
Oh God! Watch him release like a remake of one of the Metal Gear, like the second part. They finally released it. It is fantastic. Unlike the first one, and they are up for an award, and he has to give it. That'd be great.
We're not bitter, by the way. Not at all.
No.
Fuck
Kotick.
Bitter? Never.
All right, so dishonorable mentions for myself. I would have to go with the fact that companies, for having record profits, have also had a record amount of layoffs. Like no game production company seems to give a damn for the actual artists, developers, programmers, people that make this art that we all enjoy. That is a market the size, pretty much dwarfing films and other things, and they get treated like hot garbage. They need to unionize. They need to be able to have that ability. Calm down, people. You may have to wait a little bit longer for your game, but that's worth it if these people get to finish a job and then move on to another one, not finish a job and get kicked out while the other people reap up all the money and they're wondering where they're going to eat next. And how many, it was almost like we could have had bets on how close to Christmas would a company have gotten before they did layoffs or shutdowns. And one of them made it 3 days before Christmas. They were like, we're going on Christmas break. By the way, the company's shutting down. You're all fired. Come on. So yeah, that is my dishonorable mention for this year. All right, let's bring it back up a little bit happier, hopefully. Stephen, with you, honorable mentions for 2023.
I've got two.
Okay.
One of them I've gushed about before. I will continue to gush, and that is Backpack Hero. Play it, people. They released a patch. It loads better now. Plays better. and it's always fun. And my other one is kudos to them for getting someone like myself and Chris to get in this game, because before that we just thumbed our nose down and just said, like, go away. But Fortnite, expanding their repertoire and suddenly making modes that were like, you know what? I want to play that. And then
That's fair.
losing track of time. Him and racing, me and Lego Fortnite, we're just like, what time is it? Oh, but I just need to get one more thing.
I still haven't played them yet, but I look forward to playing it eventually with
Like, it's gotten to the point where not only has it provoked PDP to say, hey, we're going to announce some instruments coming back in February, but now Activision has heard the call and there's rumors of a Guitar Hero revival. So it's just like, way to go, Fortnite. Look what you did. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
There you go.
All right, Chris, honorable mentions for 2023.
I'd probably have to go with Super Mario Wonder and Street Fighter 6 because those are the ones that impressed me the most compared to their previous iterations, and I just put so much time in without realizing.
All right, Rachel, what about you? Honorable mentions 2023.
I guess games I played that I really love that definitely came out this year. That is not my game of the year. I would say Final Fantasy 16, mainly because it was the most mainstream of all Final Fantasies that everybody was playing. And it was just delightful to see more than just the RPG community come together and really appreciate the game. 15 tried, but also got dunked on all the time. I understand why. It's still my baby, but it was nice to see a Final Fantasy game in the limelight, more so just for being good and having good voice actors, good direction, good everything. It was just delightful to see normal folks outside of the RPG playing community play a game and enjoy it of a franchise that I love. So that was great. And then yeah, that was it. And I kind of considered this category games that I really enjoyed that were not my game of the year, so I didn't think of it, I guess, the same way that you guys did when giving it. So that was really my answer, other than Tears of the Kingdom.
That works too.
Which I enjoyed. I still have not done, and I've still not completed it. And it's also part. Here's an interesting thing. Part of Tears of the Kingdom kind of goes into the dishonorable mention for me, and it is the building sequence of stuff. I don't like it. It reminded me of Nuts and Bolts, which I hated. So, and I could consider that dishonorable because I was just I just want to go around and play and explore and do whatever. I don't want to have to build stuff to figure out things.
I totally get it. If you get a flashback and a negative stigma from something, it's hard to get out of it.
Oh yeah.
So when it's in another game, you're like, I don't like it because of that.
Yeah.
Well, remember, just keep watching for next episode when Steve and Chris and I mourn the fact that Rachel left us. No. I love the game. I know. Give me a hard time.
I just get pulled out of the experience of the game and the story and what I'm doing every time I have to. Oh, you have to learn how to build this thing to get into this shrine. Oh, you have to, and if you don't have those parts, all because of RNGesus has not blessed you with this part out of this one particular gacha machine, it gets very frustrating. So,
okay, I'm kind of curious which one you're stuck at now, but that's for another time.
It's the floaty one in the sky in the water area.
It's where Link is, and he's trying to go into the temple.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're trying to float down and hit this. Yeah. Anyways.
No, it's inside the orb.
With the guy and the thing and the sword and the bow and arrow.
I don't know. Anyway.
Stream it sometime. We'll help you.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
But yes.
We're here for you.
But that it's an honorable mention because I love the game, but it's also slightly dishonorable because I don't like being pulled out of an experience by frustration. So,
all right. Well, my honorable mentions for 2023, I think, would have to go to the amount of just surprise. Here's a game that we've gotten that were just so high quality. Be it, I mean, the beginning of the year hit it off strong immediately. Like, all right, here's Metroid Prime Remastered. Oh, here's Hi-Fi Rush. Like, it just games like that just showing up all of a sudden. I'm like, I love this. Like, just give
Shadow
me a
drop.
game. Yeah, surprise, it's here. Like, I like having physical copies of games, but the ability of being able to just say, hey, it's here, and having good releases pop up, yeah, it's kind of a plus to the digital side of it for certain things. I'm glad like Metroid Prime got a physical release later. I hope Hi-Fi Rush eventually will get one. And the other one is the honorable mention I want to go to is for Xbox, because now I'm with the different devices I've gotten a hold of and being able to use, their Play Anywhere stuff really does make sense. Like as soon as I got my Legion Go and now this computer, I have so many titles, like a whole library that I had digitally on my Xbox that carry over and play on this without any issues. Like I can continue playing Starfield, Flight Simulator, all my Forza Horizons and Forza Motorsports. Hi-Fi Rush is one of them. Quake 2, like just this whole long thing that I've gotten that I can just keep playing between them, and I have really enjoyed that. Like it's gotten me back into playing PC games because I don't feel like I have to start crap over every time. So yeah, no, kudos to them on that one. It finally clicked for me, guys.
I guess this year was kind of hard for me with choosing like what my favorite games were, what ones kind of did that, because a lot of the games that I played this year were not games that came out this year. And a lot of the games, a lot of the games also that came out this year that other people were excited about, I didn't play or I haven't played yet. Like Baldur's Gate 3. I don't have time for that right now. I've got more other important, like I know I'm going to be sucked into that game, and I'm still playing. I'm still playing some other games that came out this year that I need to finish. That by the time the game I'm really excited for comes out, I don't want to be in a game in two games that I'm absolutely sucked into. So that was my problem with choosing some of these titles. Is a lot of the games that I'm really loving, like Paradise Killer, for example, are not from this year. So
fair enough. All right, let's go on to the one that everyone wants to know. And we will start with you again, Steven. What is your game of the year for 2023?
So
by the way, you only get to pick one.
I had a hard time. I had to speak with Chris about it because this is going to be a controversial opinion for some people. But
each doesn't come out until next year, man. Come on.
But the way I looked into it is I was like, a game of the year for me is something that when I play it and I'm done playing it, it's in my mind. I want to see more. I want to get to the next level. I want to see it to the end. Like it just inhabits my thoughts after I'm done with it. So wherever I am, I'm like, I can't wait to get some free time so I can play this game again. However, with that in mind, what I just said, my game of the year is a game I have not played at all.
What?
So, let me explain. This game, I watched a YouTuber play.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, here we go.
Through I want to say almost 30 hours of streams. Okay, a long stream, and when it was over, I was just like, can he just post the next episode, please? Because I need to see this. I need it. I don't need to see the little pause breaks where he's saying, I'll be right back, or ad breaks. So I was like, I need to see just the videos when they're ready. So that game is Lies of P. And and when I say controversial opinion, other than not having played it, is I have the mentality of some people who watch Let's Plays, okay, that if I have watched somebody either here or on TV play something from title screen to credits, I have beaten the game as well by osmosis. and I will stand by that because I've seen everything the game has to offer.
I beat Persona 5 Royal, and so did he because he was watching.
Exactly. My brother beat Final Fantasy VII, so I never need to play it. I beat it by osmosis, so it's because of that. I was so hooked to Lies of P, its lore, its little touches, and just waiting to see where they go next. That just like he was saying during his stream that it was his game of the year, I was like, this one is mine, because this one just kind of took something we recognized as like a Souls-born game, kind of turned it on its head. So the story was a lot easier to understand, or was, I guess, more engrossing than the other From Software games would be.
Right.
Because this was just a different studio altogether, NeoWiz. And it got me to the point where I was like, maybe I'm missing out by not playing a Soulsborne game. So, it got me like that itch. I was like, okay, that means I really need to get into Jedi Survivor and such to play that duo right now.
Okay.
So I was like, it reignited something in me that wasn't there. So I was like, that deserves Game of the Year for me.
All right, cool. I think on the side of it for like watching the game, kind of just playing it, the only thing I'd be worried about is you don't really get you're getting that person's experience, but like what you would be able to do could be completely different. It's like watching someone play. Like if you watch Baldur's Gate all the way through, you would see their experience, but what you would actually play, most of that's not even going to be the same or anywhere near it, because the dice rolls will be different, like different things.
I would only agree with that because there's so many branching paths.
Right.
Like,
and I'm not saying like your choice is bad or anything like that. I'm just talking about the other
That's
part.
why those games I would never watch a Let's Play. When there's branching paths of so many different decisions, then I want to make them. But when there's just two sides to a coin, I'll just beat it by osmosis.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not arguing your choice or anything
No,
that. I was like, I want to say something about that. We'll see.
and if you want me to, because I like saying these things and seeing how your reactions, is like I told Chris, I was like, Baldur's Gate's been done before. It's called Mass Effect. Now it's done in strategy instead of shooter. And I was like, Spider-Man 2 is still just another Spider-Man game next. So.
Fair enough. Yeah. Simpsons did it.
Probably.
All right, Chris, Game of the Year.
Okay, this one isn't talked about nearly as much as it should be, but it has many elements of a video game that I enjoy, and it is Gravity Circuit, which is on Steam and on the Switch. It is essentially a mix of a beat-em-up and a Mega Man X style game. You gain powers, you beat up enemies, everybody has their own stage and leitmotif from the beginning to the boss. It's just a really good, crunchy, beat-em-up-y, techno-y kind of game. And I really wish it got advertised better, because that's a game from an indie studio that I think would really please Mega Man fans. And Mega Man fans will not shut up about what they're missing.
That's because his birthday just passed.
Exactly. Capcom's not giving us Mega Man. So play Gravity Circuit.
Okay.
Trust me, it's a good one.
I'm going to be picking up a couple games, both for portable and for PC play. Remind me of that later. I will get it.
Get Steel Assault too.
The backpack.
Yeah, Steel Assault's a good one too.
Okay. Nice. All right, Rachel. Game of the Year 2023. Yeah, we know.
Well, say it for the audience.
Yeah, say it for the audience.
Do you know? Do you know what?
You kind of told us earlier, but yeah.
It's Spider-Man 2.
No, really?
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It's a wonderful
Spider-Man
game.
2.
It's a good game.
It's a good game. Like it's just fun. Like you're webbing around. There's some emotional bits. But I'm not as annoyed by Miles now, which, go him. And it's a good game. They did a lot for accessibility. It's just good fun. It makes me more excited for whatever they have next to bring to us. Where I guess we kind of know now a little bit more. I haven't been seeking out that data, of course. But yeah, good job, Insomniac. I love you so much.
Nice. All right, and to round this out, I will have my Game of the Year for 2023. To no one's surprise, that would be The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. because you're talking about experiences and all that, but like this game, people were claiming like, oh, it's just this, it's all Hyrule again, it's all the same thing, nothing's different. And Nintendo, to their credit, stayed quiet.
They
did
said, "Hold
not
my
show
beer."
off so much stuff they had there. They're like, we'll show a little bit of the sky area. We're like, hey, you can go through things and you can fall like little bits. Nothing was said about the underground, which is a whole other, like,
Terrifying.
I had so much fun fighting my way through there and figuring out weird mechanics to bypass stuff, and eventually hijacking a skeleton horse and like cowboying it across an area and figuring out like how the underground and the sky area is all connected with the mainland based on like water and all that stuff. Just everything. Every time I played it, I had stories to tell people. Things that we could talk about. Hey, I did this, I tried that, you know, just like it was Breath of the Wild was that way as well, which is, I think, is a really good sign of a game. In Baldur's Gate 3, I'm seeing a lot of that stuff too, which is good, but it kind of feels like it should be more of a communal thing. But for myself, just playing through Tears of the Kingdom, this has become probably my favorite 3D Zelda, period. And that is not said lightly with me. I think it has surpassed all they have done before. And I think Aonuma should be congratulated for this, because I think he has done more for Zelda than almost Miyamoto has at this point with the touches and things they've done. And I'm glad that they're allowing the series to grow and change. And I'm also glad that they're like, hey, we've done Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. The next game will not be like those. They're going to do something different. And I'm like, good. You shouldn't. I don't, you see a lot of companies that, oh, we've got these big successes. We have an even bigger success for the sequel, and we're just going to milk that idea dry until it just dies off and we have to recreate it. They're stopping that and making something new so you can still go back and enjoy this. The story on this one caught me by surprise. I did not get the big twist right away. And don't worry, I'm not going to say anything about it, Rachel. She's like, I'm not even listening to you. I kind of called it a little bit, but like by the time you finally see what's going on and the way the story goes, I did really like how that was handled. So yes, that is my game of the year and pretty much my 3D Zelda game of all time now.
Awesome.
I'm excited to see what they do next, because I'm not sure where they're going to go from here.
I won't know for a while.
No idea.
No, not for a long time. At least 3 years.
Card game.
They're making it full circle.
The Legend of Gwent.
Lost Kingdoms.
Oh man! As long as I get a gold cartridge version of whatever they release somehow, I would have loved that for Tears of the Kingdom. Even I don't care if it was like a painted little gold cartridge. I would have
loved a little golden Switch cartridge.
That'd have been great. Like a nice little throwback. I missed that, So, all right. So we have finally answered our big 2023 Game Award questions for our own. So now we move on to where we tell you how you can find us. And with that, all I have to say is,
oh, damn.
She's going to regret ever giving me these sound effects. And this library will only grow. I'll eventually have ones of all of us. And I will use them irresponsibly on here.
Or very responsibly, or both.
Yeah. It'll be on the show. So if I do it wrong one time, you'll be here to yell at me probably. Or eventually.
Maybe.
But go ahead, Steven.
Excuse me, Jeremy, but on our notes, I don't see where to find Chris. He didn't put where to find him.
I know. Chris, where can we find you on the internet?
Okay, here's what you do. You go back in time about an hour and a half and then turn on this podcast. And there I am.
So you're stuck in a hopeless damnation time loop forever playing only this.
At least I have you guys.
Moving on. Steven, where can we find you on the internet?
You can yell at me about all my opinions over at Discord at N1 Nintendo with a period at the end. That's what they gave me. We can talk about all the good things about Skull and Bones over at Hive at Swantendo. We can we can enjoy just talking about things over at the how many bots follow us over at Blue Sky at n1nintendo.bsky.social.com, or you can watch me just boast of all the games I've beaten by osmosis over on X at loading_time.
All right. Rachel, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on many, many different planes, not just the internet. I can be summoned too, if you know the correct words to say. But mainly, you can find me on the former Bird app, Threads, and Instagram under Outrageous. That's OUT_RACHEOUS. You can also find me on Blue Sky, where I don't post at all, but I'm there, Outrageous with no underscore. And you can find me on Twitch, where my New Year goal of 2024 is to stream at least once every single week for at least 2 to 2.5 hours. And that's also twitch.tv/outrageous, no underscore. The links for those will be in the show notes, I imagine. But yeah, that's it. But if you summon me, watch out.
If we say Beetlejuice 4 times, you show up.
Maybe.
Jensen Ackles.
Nah, not Jensen. It's the other
I think
one.
he should be recast.
That's how to banish her. Okay.
No, don't know. I won't be banished by him. But
She didn't hear what I said.
No, I didn't.
She's way too calm.
No, I don't know what you said. What did you say?
I'm gonna leave that where you can hear it in the replay, so I can survive.
Oh,
Well, they said I was joking when they said Jensen Ackles is like he needs to be recast.
No.
Supernatural, more like stupid natural.
Oh
He
my
was actually a
God.
good Batman, surprisingly.
Oh my god. That's Soldier Boy you're talking about, guys. You gotta be careful.
Oh man. All right, I've been your host, Jeremy Powers. You can find me over on Blue Sky at zenspath.com, Instagram and Threads at zenspathcom, Twitter, Hive, and Discord is at Zenspath, Twitch, twitch.tv/Zenspath. Hopefully I will be streaming a little bit more this year as well, as I'm rebuilding, making an entire new desk with this new computer, new hardware that I've gotten a hold of. I will be set up with some new stuff so I can go ahead and start playing through some of my old library, which I'm looking forward to doing, especially with Steven, because I think we will just make fun of a lot of crap and it'll be hilarious. He's proven to be a great partner for streaming with stuff.
And maybe, if we're all lucky, we'll stream something all together and play it together.
Yes.
Sea of Thieves is on that list.
Sea of Thieves.
Yes, mine is
Lethal
ready
Company,
to go.
please.
That
I'm
too.
gonna get Lethal Company as well. My son has been just pushing that, and I'm like, why
I've been
not?
watching friends play it, and it looks chaotic, and I will likely die a lot. But
That's fun.
But that's
we,
the fun.
We all do that, yeah. But if you were watching this show and you'd like to listen to it instead, you can find us over on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Was it Zenspath.libsyn, libsyn.com. Pretty much anywhere you get your podcast, you can look for the Zenspath Entertainment Network and we will find us. If you're listening to this and you'd like to actually see us and watch as you have the realization of Steve has a peach tattoo.
and
you
that
can
Chris
see
is
that.
a real person.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to talk about that too much.
That glares a lot.
Yeah. You can find us at youtube.com/ZenspathCom, where the show is located, along with some of my other video work that I do, and hopefully some other things popping up soon.
4 hours of Tekken 2, guys.
And then if you want to talk to us directly for the show and ask questions or find out some of our little bits of news and other things, you can find us over on Twitter, or X if Steven really, really pushes it.
The former Bird app.
Right, at Zenspath Podcast. We have that account now going, and you can find announcements and other things there and reach out to all of us whenever you'd like. All right, this has been episode 112 of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast, and we're out. Peace.
The cat's name is Bagel.
Happy New Year! Corporate greed.